VR Chat, the next frontier. These are the experiences from Gunters' universe. His continuing mission, to seek out and connect with VR devs and passionate enthusiasts, to discuss theories, beliefs, and rhetoric of all kind, and to boldly go where no show has ever gone before.
Welcome back to Gunters Universe, everyone. This is the show where we discuss VR and all things geek, as well as interview some of the movers and shakers in the tech industry. On tonight's show, we're going to talk with Jeremy here. He's the VP of Creative at Merge VR. Let me read a little description that I got from your guys' website. It's at Merge. Gosh, my thing's messed up. Unfortunately. At Merge, we're creating the future of toys and the future of play every day. We work with toys because in every generation, toys create the future of kids. We specialize in virtual reality, a place where physical and digital worlds merge together because it's the gateway to the future. And we strive to make it easy, fun, and safe for everyone, starting with kids 10 and up, because we want it to be that way for all kids too. Is that right, Jeremy? Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, that's a pretty good description.
You guys wrote it, so pretty good. Welcome, Jeremy, to the program, to the virtual reality talk show here, Gunters Universe.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here and chat with you guys.
So are you in like offices or are you at home?
I'm actually at the office right now. Got some other projects I was finishing up, so this actually worked out quite nicely. Yeah.
So you're actually at work. None of us, I think, are at work. This is our
yeah, thanks for rubbing it
activity. You're stuck at the office. And here's Bob, aka Cause and Effects. He's my co-host. How's it going, Bob?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing tonight, Gunter?
I'm doing awesome. And up in the camera in the ether somewhere is K-Dog. He's my camera guy. You'll see my camera floating around. That's him there, man in the cams, and we're streaming out to twitch.tv/Gunter444, and it's pretty cool because you see Kenny moving around and all the cameras there. So, well, let's start off a little bit, some of the easy stuff, some of the beginning stuff. What's your background, and then if you could tell us about Merge VR's background.
Yeah, sure. So my background personally, I have a background in visual effects and computer graphics, animation, that kind of thing. I was running a visual effects company before this, and through, rendered VFX and compositing, things like that, I got real interested in real-time graphics about 6 or 7 years ago. Started doing some real-time mobile augmented reality when augmented reality first became a thing. And then kind of when mobile phones just started having, cameras that had fast enough processors to do real-time graphics. And then I met the guys from Merge. Actually, I met the CEO, Franklin, before he started Merge, or right when he was thinking of starting Merge. And we kind of hit it off. And then, we stayed friends for a while, but we're always looking for ways to work together. And about a little over a year ago, last June, I was looking for an exit for my company, and Merge had just raised some funds. And so there was an acquisition of my team building augmented reality apps and virtual reality apps, and bringing it into Merge and helping Merge build software and software that accompanies their physical products and things like that. So
excellent.
That's kind of that's kind of where I'm from. And then Merge has go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just thinking. I think I saw you guys at Oculus Connect 1. I think you guys go way back, and you had your headset then because it's just quite unique with its color. So I remember being at one of the after parties there. I think TechCrunch sponsored, and I remember slapping it on my head back then. It's quite changed since then, and this whole cube that we're going to talk about soon it's quite an evolution.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think at first, Merge was definitely known as a VR headset company. But it's very much not that anymore. I mean, the headset is small aspect of our business, but we're very much about sort of what you described earlier, building sort of the accessible and fun and future of AR, VR, and all these different technologies and how they affect toys and kids and how they play with them, how they interact with the world, that kind of stuff.
And is that when Merge started? Was around 2013 or so, or you guys go further back?
Yeah, they were in stealth mode. I'm not sure what version you saw, if you saw like the stealth mode version or if you saw sort of like first announcement or what. But yeah, that's around the time when it first started. Yeah.
Cool. Any other background on the company? I kind of cut you short there.
No, I was just going to say, that's kind of, Merge has grown in the past year quite a bit. And so we kind of brought a lot of the software aspect and helped build a lot of the, a lot of the software components and things like that. A lot of what you're going to see with the Merge Cube that we'll talk about, and a lot of what we've built for our Moonshot controller and things like that. So.
Excellent. Hey, Bob, I'm going to pass it over to you. Start off some questions.
Yeah, I got some questions. So to me, the color, the purple color, the original one, kind of to me helps set the headset apart from other headsets. Do you know how that got chosen or anything like that, or is that kind of a little bit before you and you not aware?
Yeah, the selection of the color, I was certainly not involved in those discussions. It was when I was running a different company and Merge was just starting out. We've talked about it a bit since then, and my sense from Franklin's our CEO, and also designs the majority of the products, or at least conceptualizes them for sure, is that it does two things. One, it definitely set us apart. The color's bright, but it's also fun and playful and exciting and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both of those, and making people remember the headset, remember the experience, just like you did.
I mean, I remember it from 2013. There's no other purple headset. I was checking it out back then.
I don't even know if there's any other ones. That's the only. Whenever I see any purple one, it just makes me think of Merge VR.
Yeah.
So there's more color choices now, right? That's something that's been recent.
Yeah. So this past January at CES, we announced 9 new colors. So we've got a variety. There's 10 colors in total. There's a variety of them, and you can get them on our website, mergevr.com.
So I noticed today that Supernova Pink is currently sold out. Is that your most popular color?
It's not the most popular, but it is sold out. Yes. It's not the most popular. I would say, I don't even want to say which one is the most popular. It really depends. Some people will come in. We've had people come in and buy, 65 teal, and then we'll have someone the next week buy, 100 of the white ones, and then it really just depends. It's hard to tell.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm starting to throw up some of the graphics. There's the Merge headset. A young person there, and here's it up close.
So do you know how the material was chosen? Because the very first time I picked it up and felt it reminded me of kind of like a retro life preserver where you wear water skiing from the 80s. That's when I felt it's immediately reminded me of that.
Yeah, I wasn't around during the first iteration of the headset. I played with some of the initial prototypes when they were first working on it. Merge is based in the same city that I was running my VFX company in. And, I saw some of the early prototypes, and they were all cut from foam, like a thicker foam. And so, again, I think the idea of the foam is it's soft, it's playful, it's not too serious. You can throw it off of a building and it protects your phone. It's that kind of thing. And so, again, I think all that played into not just the color choice, but that attitude played into also the material that it's made from. Comfort, it's clean, it's easy to wipe down, those kinds of things. So,
yeah,
it's not your typical VR hard plastic on your face and that kind of thing. It's something accessible and
it looks really.
It's very unique.
Soft.
I've never seen any others that are like that.
Have you worn one before?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's much.
I tried one a couple years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how much you agree, but it's much more comfortable than a lot of the plastic, than all of the plastic ones you stick on your face. So
it's super comfortable. Absolutely. And it's stretchy and bendy, and it's easy to clean. So when kids are sharing it, less chance of spreading. As kids in school, they're always spreading sickness, and then they spread it to us at home, and you're going to have them get the alcohol wipes with them as they share this with their friends, because they're going to be sharing with everybody. This is probably going to be pretty hot during Christmas.
Yeah, we had a great season last year, and hoping, of course, for another one this year. So
Yeah. With the cube, you know.
Let's see. So next one up.
Sorry, Bob.
That's all right. Are the merge goggles compatible with the Google Cardboard applications?
Yeah, they are. So you can go in and on the back of the goggles, there's a little QR code, so you can scan the QR code and get the proper IPD and settings and all that kind of stuff.
The cube is quite awesome. I want a cube and I want it now. And I'm probably going to go out and get one.
Yeah, so the cube it's made out of the same material as our headset. It's a soft foam with markers printed on all 6 sides, and it's all done using computer vision and augmented reality. I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with that. But the idea is, right, any mobile device scans the cube, sees the pattern, and then displays stuff on top of that. And so we announced this cube at CES this year in January in Vegas, and we knew it was a cool idea and we knew it would be successful, but it was kind of like wildly successful. We had a lot of our retail partners hitting us up to, when are you going to produce this as soon as possible? When are you going to get it on shelves? That kind of thing. So we kind of did a mad scramble from January of this year until August 1st, which we just released 2 weeks ago, to sort of get this on the market and get a bunch of apps around it. So in-house, Cause, to answer your question, we developed 8 separate apps in-house. And then we brought several development studios on board also to publish several apps. So right now, I think there's about 18 available apps on the store. And then the first of every month, there will be sort of new big content pushes that support the cube. So it should be pretty cool.
So if developers want to support if they want to create applications for the cube, what should they do?
So if you go to dev.mergevr.com, you can access our SDK. It's all completely open. You can request a cube. We'll send you one. And then you can sort of develop and create whatever you want. Yeah, it's super awesome.
You're amongst the hobbyist developer community right now. And that's what they're doing. Is creating these avatars, creating places. And so while you were gone, we were just drooling over it. And then you could make your own stuff too that you would like to see on the cube. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we're taking this sort of playful approach and, games and sort of STEM style, educational, entertainment, edutainment style gaming and things like that.
Sure.
But we have a number of people. We have NASA working on an app that's all around viewing weather systems on the cube, turning the cube into a globe and seeing live weather data and things like that.
Oh, that's so rad.
We've got guys from the American Museum of Natural History, one of the largest natural history museums in the world, and probably the most famous one here in the United States, that's building applications to look at fossils and hold artifacts and fossils in your hand that you can look at and view, things that are normally behind glass
you're not kidding,
for 200
man.
years.
This is wildly successful. Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see what sort of the professional, all the different interests that have come in for it when we meant to make fun games and things for it. So it's pretty cool.
People want to know, of course, how much does the cube cost?
So you can buy the cube.
Is it expensive?
Right now it's exclusive to Walmart and it's $15. It's $14.99.
$15. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's $15, and then fairly soon. I don't think I can say yet. Fairly soon, it will be more widely available. So,
sure.
This coming holiday season, you're going to be able to get these anywhere and everywhere. So
it'll be available international as well, like not just United States.
It will be for sure in Canada, and I'm not sure about European and Asian plans. I know we're in talks. I'm not sure exactly when distribution is happening out there, though.
Can you have 2 cubes in the same?
You currently cannot have 2 cubes. We're playing with that now, but no. Right now, there's not a need for 2 cubes necessarily. All the games are all based on 1 cube, things like that. And then you can sort of, if you have a cube and I have a cube, we can both play the same cube game but separately. So right now, no, just 1 cube. Hey, another thing, Gunter,
the headset. Yeah.
Another thing, real quick to mention, since you're saying I'm surrounded by developers. About 2 months ago, we announced a $1 million development fund. And so we actually support developers in not only sort of technical support and resources and things like that, but actually financially as well. So if developers have really interesting ideas that they want to build or they want to see on the Cube, they're welcome to propose those to us. And we are actually currently funding, we're talking actively right now to over 32 different studios. We have, I think, 18 different games in funding with those different studios. So if you have developers here that are interested in that, go to dev.mergevr.com again. And there's a link there as well for the development fund. So you guys should check that out for sure too.
The goggles, you guys call it goggles, which that's a little more friendly, I think, for kids, right? I think that's some good language. How much is the goggles?
The goggles are currently $59.99. So
okay,
about $60.
Now you say that they're for ages 10 and up. So does that mean like the IPD goes down pretty low?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact millimeter measurement, but yeah, it's sub 60. I can't remember how close you can adjust them.
Yeah, there's an IPD adjustment on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And of course it works for people with glasses. All these things have to kind of support that kind of situation.
Yeah, it's one of the best headsets also for glasses as well. Just because of the form factor, it fits glasses really easily too. So.
Excellent. I saw that there's a Sketchfab app, and I think that's super cool. As a use case, a lot of us use Sketchfab, have stuff up there. You could sit here and have it in the palm of your hand and with the cube. I really like that.
Yeah, I really think, it's such a simple concept of holding something like that, but especially you guys that do this a lot, that rotating a 3D object's not that impressive, but when you're actually holding it in your hand and rotating it, there's something about it that's just super magical about like rotating it just like that without having to hold down the orbit button on your mouse and twist your wrist around and all that kind of stuff. It seems really simple, especially to us, but it's actually pretty powerful and pretty compelling.
So what are some of the coolest apps that you've seen in the Miniverse?
Yeah, we've got a number of apps that are really cool. We've got one called Tilt Ball that I think you saw up there earlier. There was all the castles on the protruding off the cube, and awesome. You kind of roll it. Yeah, you kind of roll this marble around. I'm using my fingers if you can see them, but you can't necessarily. You can kind of like roll around the edges, and you have to sort of get from one end to the other, which is pretty neat. We've got a Rubik's Cube that's on there that's really cool. We've got. I'm trying to think what some of the other cool ones are. You can hold the solar system in your hand, which is super awesome. Different body parts and sort of see different body parts up close.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think we're going to get interrupted.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking for somebody.
Okay.
So that one's really cool. Yeah, there's a number of there's one game called Diffuse that you have to sort of like figure out how to diffuse a bomb before it goes off, and sometimes it'll blow up in your hand, which is kind of exciting too. So there's a number of those. We have a number of prototypes too that will be coming up soon too that I won't mention just yet, but that are super cool. Think of like asymmetrical VR experiences where one person's in VR, AR, and then the other person's like reading a manual. Think something sort of like Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes, those kinds of games.
Oh, cool.
So we've got one of those that's really cool coming out. We've got a number. There's one that another company that we work with called Steelhouse Productions did called Invasion. That's super exciting. It's on the Miniverse now. Where it's kind of like a Where's Waldo, and you're looking at this city all over the sides of this cube, and you have to find all these random parts that are all moving around and stuff. It's pretty exciting too. So yeah, there's a bunch of really interesting games on there right now. Things, the one you have on the screen there has 16 different mini games that are pretty neat. That Flexi Cheese one is really cool. It turns the cube into a block of cheese. It's like super squishy, and you just like poke at it. It's like tofu. It's like tofu. It just jiggles. It's super fun. So there's a variety of them.
The interface is cool. You're just looking at it, and it's just look at it and tap the side, or if you're on your phone, tap the screen. And just it looks slick though, even though it's obviously simple. I don't know, you're moving the interface or something. There's something about having it in your hand, and as you move it, it's the buttons that you're going to press, kind of, you're moving them instead of a cursor or even a controller.
Yeah.
Is there any support for a controller, or there's Daydream controllers that are out now? Is there any utilization for something like that?
A developer could build it in. We aren't currently building those things in. We do have our own controller that is essentially a slightly faster version of the Daydream controller. And we've built some tests around it, but we don't have an official integration right now. Yeah.
Okay, so that's potentially something coming up in the future. Definitely working on. I think having I don't know exactly what you would, but I guess with the headset, you would probably want the goggles. You definitely would like to have some sort of input method, like a controller that like Daydream has.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's a number of really cool inputs you can do with the cube itself. You'd be surprised. Like just tracking like a simple hand push. Like, let's see if I can bend back here. Just doing a simple hand push like this with the cube is actually an input we can detect. Rolling it like this is an input we can detect. So there's a variety of inputs. Actually, all the inputs you can do on a controller, you can actually do on this cube as well. So that's pretty interesting.
That's interesting. Let's see.
So looking at talking about the headset itself, I know you said for the Cube, the minimum spec you're saying is like the S6 level. For the actual headset, the merged goggles, those can use older phones, right?
Yeah, I'm shame on me. I don't remember the exact spec we have for the goggles, but I believe it's an iPhone 5, and it's basically one generation older than the Cube spec. So what actually becomes the problem is not the processing, but is instead the size. Like some of those phones get so small that you can't even push IPD close enough together.
Right. Yep.
To get the 5S, those are small. Yeah. Yep. That definitely would not.
So there's some phones like the smaller ones that don't work with it. Are there any others that you wouldn't suggest people use, or so they don't go and buy a merge if they have?
So if you look at the box actually has the spec on it. So if you go out and buy a merge, just look at the box; it'll tell you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and then we also actually curate a site called vrtest.ninja. If you go to vrtest.ninja, it'll scan your phone and it'll tell you whether or not your phone is good for VR or not. It scans your GPU, your CPU, your screen size, all of that, and it basically tells you, yeah, this would be a great VR phone, or no, this one won't be so good.
What about education apps? What's going on with education?
So we've got a couple. The one you've got on the screen there is one of them. It's called Galactic Explorer, so you can explore the galaxy and planets and the moons and the some, not all, but some of the spacecraft in our solar system. We've got one called Mr. Body, where you can sort of see different organs and things like that. We are not, as Merge as a company, we very much support the education market, and we're working actually really closely with people building educational apps. However, that's not going to be our core build focus. Building true curriculum and things like that isn't going to be our key focus. And so we're going to sort of rely on other partners to build those things, and we're supporting them best we can, but that's probably the extent of our focus. We're probably much more interested in like creative expression inside of our apps opposed to like hardcore curriculum and things like that.
So I think I answered my question about partnering with schools or boys and girls clubs or other after school programs. That's not really what those folks can do that, and people can partner up on their own, but you guys won't be working directly with them or anything like that. Well,
it's not that we aren't working directly with them. I mean, we have actually fantastic relationships with them. We have a school buying program, so they can buy our products extremely low cost with it's very little barrier to entry. And so, I mean, we support them to a fault. We are very supportive, but we aren't in-house. We are not building those applications.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is it just schools, or are there after-school programs?
There's a variety. Well? Yeah, there's several after-school coding programs to just after-school, like you mentioned, boys and girls clubs, things like that. Universities are actually big supporters of it too, because it allows them to get the Cube, for example, allows a university to get, the equivalent of 30 HoloLenses for a much cheaper price point than whatever that is, 120 grand. You know what I mean?
So let me open up to questions from the audience, and then there's some clips from somebody's video out there that I'll give credit to, but it shows it in action, and I kind of like that. It's not big enough to fit the whole screen, but first, anybody got any questions in the audience?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, we'll go with Wild. What's that? Is that you? Yeah. Go ahead. A Wild check.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you mentioned this, but what kind of lenses are you using? Are they for now?
I don't know the exact lens spec. I don't know the exact lens spec on our lenses. I'm sorry.
All right.
Our crowd is very tech and VR developers, so they ask the hard questions sometimes.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I should know that.
It's been so long since I tried it. I don't remember.
Squirt, and then we'll go to Lobster after that.
Yeah, hey Jeremy. I think this is awesome. It's an application, like it's more towards children. There's always been issues or like the topic about how old kids. Like, when should we let kids use VR? I'm sure you guys have done your research. What is the age? You said 10 and older, and
yeah, that's right. We're 10 and up.
Put it on the restriction at 10.
So 10 and up is honestly mostly for our headset, and there's a number of safety issues that I won't get into that we decide to go 10 and up. I mean, the truth is I have nieces that are 4 and 5 years old, and they freaking love putting it on and playing games and things like that. And I personally don't stop them. That's up to a parent, I guess. Legally, we put 10 and up because that's best for us. The Cube, though, is really interesting because you can use the Cube in our headset, but you can also use it in what we would, I guess, you call mobile mode or phone mode or AR mode or whatever. But it ships with a phone stand with it, a tablet stand. So you can actually just put the phone directly in the stand and play with it that way. So, I mean, ultimately a 3-year-old kid could play with the Cube and have a great time. So awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about Lobster?
So mine's kind of a little bit of a two-parter, but mostly my main question is, well, how does it differ from other phone applications that use similar VR experiences? Because a lot of them tend to be a little bit more janky and unstable due to faulty programming. How is yours going to stand out compared to the rest?
I mean, I guess that's a little bit up for our users and our customers and everyone else to decide. Our tracking on this Cube, though, is absolutely superb. I'm a bit of a let me use the right word here. I'm a tracking crazy person. I'm, and so is our team, and we make sure everything tracks really well. You're getting 60 frames a second, as much speed as you can. But that thing, even when obscured and even when moving quickly, it tracks really, really well. And so, yeah, I mean, we basically monitor performance as much as we can. We know that a single frame drop can completely ruin a VR experience and things like that. So we're very much paying attention to those things and trying to make the best experience we can. I guess ultimately, though, once you try it, that'll be up to you to decide.
Yeah, just kind of unpause the video, and we saw a couple. You can just tell from these videos that the tracking's great. Should roll here in just a second. And I mean, you can play some games. You put this on, and it's playing music through your phone, and it's just the bass, and it's just going to it. And it's pretty rad.
This is like a Pac-Man style game. You move your controller around, and you can like eat all these sushi and things like that. It's kind of a silly little mini game, but it's just kind of funny. It's got cool sound effects and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really novel. It's got breaking out of the Cube. It's like, oh yeah, you could use that to do something like that. This feels like a window into another world.
Yeah. Have you done any internal testing with users that wear glasses? I hear that come up a lot with just HMDs in general. how is it in comfort wise for glasses?
So assuming you don't have giant frame glasses, it fits most glasses. If you have super giant frame trendy glasses, it may not work, but glasses in general are perfectly fine. I just got laser eye surgery just 2 years ago, but before that I used to wear glasses in it all the time and didn't have an issue. So it depends on the frame, but for the most part, I would say we might have the most glasses friendly mobile headset on the market without a doubt. So
Cool, thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Keep the questions coming. You can just shout it out.
I'm curious. I asked you a question earlier about children. What about your market towards adults, like the older market? Because just by what I see, I'd play this just to try it out. This looks amazing, let alone children, right? So is there a market for older people?
Yeah. I guess it's like kind of, I'm glad you asked this question. We're definitely geared towards the next generation. We believe that like VR is not really for us. I don't know about you guys. I'm a 30-year-old male from Texas.
Oh no, it's for us.
VR,
Sorry.
as much as we
Hang on.
Lost the road, man. I'm sorry. Keep it back. Come on.
Oh man, I'm good. I got flame suit
It's
on.
okay. I get what you're getting at.
The VR natives.
As much as we love VR and as much as we enjoy it and we see the potential of it, these kids will be natives. Just like Kaz just said, these kids are going to grow up in it, and it's really going to be for them, and they're going to own it and take it to places we never imagined. And so we are developing a lot of experiences for kids. However, we do find people like you guys, people like us, are some of our biggest champions as well. And they're older people who grew up playing arcade games like Galaga, things like that, Atari stuff. So yeah, I mean, we definitely aim for one and hope we capture a lot of the others too. So.
I mean, toys are huge. There's toy conventions. You guys go around, and is the Cube at any of these conventions or?
We're at we're at all the. Yeah, we're at all the toy fairs. We're at a lot of them. We're at a ton of shows. I mean, I'm on the road every other day, so is the rest of our sales team and our marketing teams, and everyone's at different shows for tech or toys or retail or just whatever it is. So, we're all over the place.
Cool. I think
you guys go to like VR meetups and stuff too?
We do, yeah. We go to quite a few of them. We sponsor several of them. So we're going to be at one in New York at the end of the month, and then we've got I can't remember where some of the next ones are, but yeah, we're at a lot of them.
Cool.
Someone had a question up here.
I was kind of wondering about, I seen one of the applications was a music application, had a little boombox or whatever that was on it. Any plans for expansion or creating any kind of APIs to work more with music applications, perhaps MIDI capabilities to work with music producers, or give a new outlet or a new way of creating sound with this augmented reality? Anything in the books that you guys seen that in the future?
Yeah. So I can speak to a couple things that we're doing there. Number one, we sponsored the South by Southwest Hackathon this year. And there was about 14 teams, and 4 of them built apps with the Cube. And the team who won Best Music Experience was a team developing with the Cube. It's really cool, actually. They won $5,000 for one thing. They won $2,000 for another thing. They won several of the awards at the hackathon. And so we're currently talking with them about some of the things that they built there. But then we also have another development team out of, I believe they're out of Indiana. I can't remember which team this is off the top of my head. But they're building a music app where you can kind of like place things in different areas around you. And you can sort of see them. Something's wrong with my right hand. I'm not sure here, but you can sort of see, like, you can put the drums up here and see the drums play. It's sort of like visual music playing and things like that. If you guys have other ideas of music, of things you'd like to see built, we'd love to chat with you about it. I'm personally not a great musician, and so or an understander really of music, and so it's a little hard for me to come up with those creative ideas. But we'd love talking with people that might have them, because we do think music
12 minutes up.
12 minutes.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I've never heard anything like that. I'm glad it's not VR chat. You know, I'm always apologizing. Sorry, person that's super busy and coming out, join us here, and it's, kicking you out. So, well, let's watch more video. I was rushing to get these videos, and then I just came across it at the end.
I want to make that stuff for the cube.
Yeah,
they should make a waifu in a box.
Visualizations would be awesome.
I'll get one of those applications that has the AI girl inside of it, and you can roll her around.
10 out of 10.
That's
yeah.
a slightly more adult application. That'll be big in Japan.
Oh no!
What about a cube version of Bop It? That would be amazing.
Oh, you had to hit the individual sides like it tried to track your hand?
Oh,
so it says.
Yeah.
You forgot to put another quarter in there for 12 minutes.
So you saw a little tracking blip there, but I think it works pretty good.
What caused that, though? Like, if you could put an interface on it to where it'd run Winamp's Milk Drop or any kind of visualization software that would, have beat detection for music and things like that, I think would be really awesome to watch. There's just a lot of possibilities with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically a box of QR codes on it.
Yeah. That's why it's so inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have like a room full of like a dozen of them playing the same content.
Yeah, that'd be.
Well, it'd have to be run through some kind of server so that everybody saw, the exact same thing and heard it all at the same time.
What about a multiplayer version where people take different types of cubes and
connect the phones via Bluetooth or something?
Oh, Sal, it's hard to hear you, man.
Oh, should I speak up?
Definitely even louder than that.
Yell.
What about a multiplayer, sort of like some guy brings his cube and someone else brings their cube?
Yeah, I was thinking that might cause issues because they're probably the same QR codes on each one.
Yeah, how do you distinguish between the two? That'd be a problem.
Yeah.
What if they were like
you could have a different side
themselves? But yeah, that's interesting.
I work at Walmart,
just do multiplayer with
I
one
might have
cube.
to hunt this stuff down.
I'm going to Walmart tomorrow.
First time that will actually run it. That's rule number one.
Yeah,
then you can buy it.
I got a Nexus.
Yeah.
I got a Nexus 6P, so it could run it.
You see someone in the review section saying they purchased 25 of the cubes and they couldn't use them all at once.
I'm gonna buy this stuff up and sell them during Christmas time for $80.
There he is. Hey, buddy. I can just stand up. You don't need to reorganize the chairs.
Oh no, let's do it.
Reorganizing the chairs eats up valuable time from the 12 minutes.
It's
sit down for the 12 minutes.
There we go. All right, more questions. Any?
Yeah, we had some while you're away.
Go, sir.
Do you plan on adding any more hardware? Like, let's say maybe a specialized QR glove, or maybe different shapes that do different things, or maybe even electronics to the cubes that you can actually press on it and it interacts with the phone, kind of like that little handheld you had. Do you guys have any plans for stuff like that?
Yes, I can't talk about them.
You guys are developing basically, right? You're going to continue developing
guys, this is
that aren't just the cube, right?
This is just the beginning. Yeah. You guys should be real. I mean, of course, I'm biased, but should be really excited to watch merge over the next few years, because I think there's going to be a lot of products that developers like yourselves are going to really appreciate. So, yeah, there's a lot of new cool things coming out, and you may or may not have mentioned a few of them.
So cryptic.
So is developing pretty easy? Is you have like a Unity SDK plugin?
Yeah, so one of the things actually that I do as well for the company is I go out and throw big game jams all over the country at different meetup groups and different universities, things like that. And we actually can get a team, and we've seen it happen at universities especially, because universities usually have the most green developers, right? It's really thirsty freshmen and sophomores who barely have any game dev, let alone VR dev experience in their life. And we'll get them up to speed on Unity, computer vision, and publishing to a mobile device, all of which they've never done before, in 2 hours. I mean, the Unity integration is drag and drop. It's super simple. It's very easy to use. Yeah, I mean,
awesome to hear.
It's going to be. We're hoping. I mean, I can see soon where it's going to be the thing where like high schoolers are going to be able to do this no problem.
Right on.
Future is awesome.
Did you guys, when you guys first came out around 2013, did you even think about the hand-me-down phones to kids, or was that part of your plan the whole time?
Yeah, that's definitely
hand-me-down phones.
Yeah, that's definitely something we talk about a lot, you know, when we're looking at specs for products. And of course that goes against like us wanting to build like the most coolest thing based on the latest tech and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something we think about a lot, is because, you know, these 10-year-old kids aren't necessarily going to have the iPhone 8. They're going to get the iPhone 6 once the iPhone 8 comes out, right? So that's definitely something we think about a lot and try to balance with our product roadmap. So it really just depends.
Unity, it's awesome.
Any particular version? Are you going to be? Is there going to be a limit on the version of Unity, or is it kind of open to whatever version that we have, or do we have to have the latest?
Oh, they want the version of Unity that the sports.
Yeah,
we're getting technical.
I know what version it is.
5.6.
We have a Unity meme around here. They can't.
I'm starting to catch on to it. I think currently we are stable on 5.5 something, whatever the latest 5.5.1 was.
5.6.
I think it works on 5.6 as well, but I think it's like 5.5 something and up is ideal for our SDK. So if you go to dev.mergevr.com, you can see all the spec. It's all the official spec is there, so you can check it out.
Very cool.
Question.
Shoot, man. Go ahead.
So here's an interesting thing. Pretty sure you guys aren't working on it right now, but the HTC Vive has a camera built in. It would be interesting if maybe there was some kind of API that would let people utilize the Cube for use with an HTC Vive for some potentially different experiences from what you get on mobile.
Yeah. We haven't. I can tell you, we haven't done any official Vive stuff yet, but we've talked a lot about different ways to bring the Cube onto other platforms. So we're playing with it on things like Windows Holographic and the HoloLens and things like that. So Vive integration isn't the most active thing we're working on, but we are playing with other ways to integrate it besides just Android and iOS phones.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
A few more questions before we wrap up. We've covered a lot. How about
Can we expect any new product announcements at CES 2018?
There you go.
Oh gosh, I hope so.
That's a yes. Question. Do you? I know I saw at one point in the video that somebody would look like he was using a laptop. So are you able to use computers with cameras as well? Like, is it the same kind of API, or is that just for development testing?
Yeah, you probably saw a development testing type video of someone like actually developing something and then showing it. So it does work on a laptop, but it's mainly in a development environment, something like Unity.
All right.
Super cool. Is there anything else you want to say about Merge VR before we end the show?
No, I don't think so. I would say if you guys, especially if you're devs, check out dev.mergevr.com. If you want to say hi to me personally, it's jeremy@mergevr.com. You can find me on Twitter. I used to be a college professor, prof, PROF _Kenisky. You can tweet me there. I'm happy to answer questions on Twitter also. So yeah, I think that about covers it. I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, man. It's great.
Right.
And just
I'm buying one tomorrow.
Noise.
And before we finish, Bob, somebody came up to me at the Sunday meetup 2 days ago and said, "Is the Left-Handed VR podcast going to do any new episodes?" It's been like
we actually
months.
recorded an episode on Saturday.
You got them together. You got the guys, or did you have to
we finally
branch
got them
out?
together. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Bob does a podcast as well. Cool.
It's not
It's
dead.
really awesome.
We're alive.
And I wanted to highlight just two new events in VR Chat. Of course, there's all kinds of events going on. You can go to vrchat.net and go to the calendar there. But on Thursday, there's 2 events going on, 2 new talk shows. One's done by Claire. Her topic's paranormal activity. She's going to have some guests that are involved in that on. And then before that is Vivian, who was going to do a talk show in Altspace, is now doing her show in VR Chat, and it's called The Hive. And she's basically, I would say it's similar to a Conan O'Brien type of show, trying to bring guests on that are outside of VR and talking about what's new and current in pop culture and stuff like that. So The Hive. And that's it, guys. Thanks for coming out to Gunters Universe. Follow me on Twitter at Gunters Universe and all that good stuff. It's been fun being your host, and it's been fun talking to Jeremy. And I'm going to try to hit these buttons if that'll work so we can play the outro music. We're handicapped. I feel like I'm trying to
Special needs
put it at my desk. Yeah, I feel very special needs. More so than usual. Awkward pause. There we go. Ooh. Oh, yes, here we go. Thanks, everybody.
Just